The Auburn Tigers knocked off the Oregon Ducks last night, 22-19, to win the national championship. It's the 5th straight national championship claimed by an SEC team. I sent a friend a text after the game joking that they should just start crowning the SEC champ the national champ, because the way these SEC teams are, just breeding unbelievable football teams, I really don't see the streak ending anytime soon. We listed a couple of teams, Texas, Oklahoma, Oregon, maybe USC once they, are eligible for postseason play. They can compete with the SEC. But other than that, the SEC is in a conference in a world of its own. Once again, we're going to stick with the same format, talk about the topics that were discussed on Around the Horn. Starting off, the first question was, Auburn-Oregon, was the game a great game, or was it just a great finish? And I'm going to have to go with great finish. The game was close throughout, but it really didn't start getting excited. I didn't feel nervous. I didn't feel excited until the fourth quarter, until the end of the game. Every time Auburn had the ball, I felt, well, if Auburn scores here to make it a 2-score game, this game's going to be over. And then when Oregon had the ball, obviously you were excited to see if they could go down and tie it. Then they did tie it. I will say it was kind of upsetting, the Dyer run there at the end. It was just kind of like, did that really just happen? Is that how this game's going to be deciding? So that was a little upsetting, but, I would say it was more so of a great finish than a great game. Cam Newton, did his stock go up or down after last night's performance? And I don't know if you got a chance to read my National Championship Game Journal yet, but I said a couple times in there that his stock was falling. He missed a couple wide open throws. He missed 2 wide open touchdown passes. That kind of, worries me, that is Newton going to be able to make big throws in the NFL, to make throws when the pressure's on? And I'm not sure he can. Another thing is, Cam Newton wasn't just a quarterback for the Auburn Tigers this year. He was also one of their top running backs. He's carried the ball 15 to 20 times a game and took a lot of big hits. And I think pro scouts are going to be a little worried about that. He got banged up last night, a rib or back injury, whatever. You could see him wincing a couple times. On one quarterback run, he just fell to the ground. And that was the first time I've ever seen him avoid contact. So I think, as far as not making easy throws, easy big-time throws, when the pressure's on. And I think he took a beating this year, and I think that's going to scare scouts a little bit. Is he going to be able to keep up? Is he going to be able to learn to protect himself? I'm not sure he can. I think, although they won the game last night, I think Newton's stock dropped a little. 2 turnovers, an interception, and a fumble. Not making makeable throws, and then the injury problems, I think, are all reasons that his stock dropped last night. Next up is Rex Ryan. Oh, when isn't Rex talking? I mean, by now you guys know how I feel about Rex Ryan and the New York Jets. Do I buy or sell Rex's comments? Obviously I'm going to sell. When are you going to learn that you cannot run your mouth to the New England Patriots? Yeah, I know you called out Manning and the Colts, said it was personal and whatnot, but let's not forget the Colts were banged up, and you still almost lost. You still almost lost the Colts. If it wasn't for your defense, coming up with some big plays, and maybe a few fluke plays that went your way down the stretch, I'm not sure you win that game. But to call out Tom Brady, to make jokes about Brady, I mean, he hates you enough as it is. Belichick hates you enough as it is, and you just keep drawing this attention to yourself. I think the Patriots are going to be ready for this game. They're going to come in, they're going to do their business, and I think, it's not going to be a 45-3 game like earlier in the season when they met in Foxborough, but I think this game is going to be won easily by the Patriots, and a major reason for that is Rex Ryan and his inability to keep his mouth shut before his games with the Patriots. I'm not saying it would make a huge difference if he would be quiet, but it definitely wouldn't hurt. Saying nothing is definitely the best way to go before you're facing Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the Patriots. Les Miles decided to stay at LSU. Do I feel this was a good move? Absolutely. You know, as far as Les Miles goes, you know, he's making great money at LSU. You know, he has it in his contract that will be the highest paid coach in the SEC. And, you know, people say, well, LSU, you know, he's been under fire at LSU a little bit. People want him out. Well, Les Miles being fired, he gets, I think his buyout $16 or $18 million. So that's not really even an issue for him, you know. He's not going to be too upset if he gets fired because he'll collect his 18 mil and move on to another job. So I think it was definitely the right move to stay at LSU. Why go to Michigan when you're already, you know, you're coaching in the best conference. Your school has great fans, great passion for the game. Not always, don't always like you, but you already won a national championship. You win 9, 10, 11 games year in and year out. So really, why would you leave a place like LSU for a place like Michigan? It doesn't make sense. You're making a ton of money at LSU. It's a great place to coach football. And I stand behind his decision 100%.